Good afternoon. It's 2 o'clock, and we're excited to share with you guys what we've got going on here at Calyptix. We've been working very hard, and we got a lot of new things as well as improvements of things we've been working on. We want to bring those up, and we also wanted to start looking into the future, the roadmap, and the things we've got going on there.
Right.
Joseph is with us today. I'm Ben Yarbrough, CEO at Calyptix. And I've got Joseph Schmidt, who is our marketing manager and community manager. So he oversees the portal and a lot of communications and a lot of activities.
That's right. Hello, everyone.
So look forward to the feedback, and we want to get some direct feedback while we're here today, right, Joseph?
Right. We have a QR code right here that's easily accessible with your camera on your phone. And we just wanted to put this in front of you right now so you can get everything ready. We will be asking for you to put in a survey when we get to that portion of the presentation.
So if they use this, they'll go straight to the website of the
It survey? Will go right to the survey, correct.
Perfect. So the survey is going to be focused on CCM and new feature requests there, and we'll be doing a demo of some of the things we've just added. So that kind of gets into the agenda today. We're going to hit some milestones just to remind everybody what our journey is and where we're going. And a lot of the new folks that have been joining us, give them a little glimpse into the past. We're going to talk about our new account success manager roles as Chris Pallone is transitioning with Calyptix. We've leveraged his insight, suggestions, as well as the support team and feedback from our partners on how to help our partners most.
As we move forward, we're going to be telling you about our partner deals that are inside the partner portal, as well as the events that we have lined up. Not all the events are in there, but the most recent ones are right up in there.
And we'll do a little bit on the 7.0, what has been rolled out in the last year, as well as some upcoming changes. And then the CCM Cloud Manager, we'll do a quick demo of that. And most importantly, we're excited to introduce Community Shield Plus, a new MXDR solution that for us brings all the pieces together. So just a brief sort of look back at history, tried to highlight a few of the big milestones, but our founder Lawrence started in 2002 with his PhD thesis in novel theory, which we've been implementing theory into practice. And I think he'll tell you they're not the same, but you got to have a goal, and a theory is a good place to start. So along the way, we've been building the platform to provide a secure, integrated security sharing platform for small business. So some of the key points were the Community Shield patent, the actual inclusion of threat feeds, the announcement of Community Shield, adding Gatekeeper for secure zero trust access, expanding Community Shield, and then today bringing all those pieces together in Community Shield Plus.
Now, we did this as a thought experiment. We've been in the industry for a while, but we just wanted to, kind of get on the cutting edge of what ChatGPT thinks. And we asked it, what's the biggest challenging facing small business, MSPs, and all that.
So this was pretty insightful and a little too easy, to be honest. But every presentation needs to have some AI. So we thought we'd drip this in. But for us, it really is striking. We understand that our partners are under severe pricing pressures and thin margin. They are facing significant compliance requirements that continue to move. They also have limits on scalability and significant resource constraints. They got a lot of tools they have to manage with vendors, and they got to educate their clients as well as their own staff, not to mention finding, hiring, and retaining staff.
That's a repeated one.
Yeah.
Talent shortage.
But it's talent at both the clients and our partners, right? And it's probably, as we go to events and talk to partners, it's those gaps that make it so hard to deliver cybersecurity. And to me, the takeaway is the opportunity is to create very clear alignment to solve the problem of cybersecurity. It starts with the customer, with our partners, Calyptix, and then finding the right pieces to stack on top of that with clear roles and responsibilities. And so, as we sort of hit these points, everything we do, in all honesty, should be targeted at these challenges. If we're missing the mark, please give us feedback. Likewise, if we're hitting the mark, let us know.
Now, as we said before, Chris is transitioning into a supervisory role. And so we have created this account success manager role within Calyptix. Now, most of you know David Hodson has been with us for a good long time. He will be also doing the ASM role, and along with that would be Nate Duncan. He is a new face in Calyptix, but you probably already heard him with his outreach and everything.
So one of the sort of sayings that I've worked on is we sell security, but really we provide immediate personalized help. And that's a combination of input from Chris and the importance of immediacy, as well as Dwayne and our support team, personalized as well, because people really want help. And several years ago, I had an opportunity to sit down with a good partner, had a long talk and at least one drink. And he said, Ben, you sell security, but you really provide help. And that resonated with me. Most recently, when I was trying to solve an issue with an Amazon order, and I finally found the button that said, call me. And within a minute, they called me. They knew my name. They had the information. They had already identified the order that was a problem. And they gave me a refund within 3 minutes. And it was unbelievable. And so I think about my parents. I think about my busy kids. One's training to be a doctor. The other's a consultant. With technology, it's all great until you need help. And when you sprinkle in that help at the speed of relevance, with the right tools and the right information, we can really do a lot of great things. So this model, it's built on a sales relationship at its foundation. We need to do business to stay in business. That means buying and selling stuff. And that's access enforcers, community shield service we're working on, likely incident response. But beyond that, there's an enormous amount of areas where our account success managers are slated to help our partners. They should be seen as a member of your team, whether it's training, learning how to read a report, responding to a community shield event, determining whether or not you should escalate an issue to an incident response service, figuring out your partner agreement details, shipping, all of those nitty-gritty details that make your business run, that serve your customers, are part of our expectations of our team members here. So yes, they may call you about an upgrade, but that truly is working on your behalf to schedule planned obsolescence and planned downtime. So when you look at what they do, whether it's a fleet review, for many folks have really old boxes that may be 5, 6, even 8 years old, it's time to update those, or RMAs, chasing down units. They want to help you. So if they're calling you, don't assume it's to collect a bill. It might be about a critical security alert. So if you don't want their help, let them know. If you want their help and you can't take time right now, tell them how they can best help you. Tell them how they can best communicate with you. If it's text, if it's phone, if it's email, or maybe you have a dispatcher that they should work with. But this is your resource on our team to help you be successful. And we truly mean that. So we got a compliment the other day by email.
Yes.
And I had this go over when I read it at the team meeting on Tuesday.
It went over very well.
It was a moment.
It's a great words right here.
A couple of things. Dwayne and Warren wanted to really express the appreciation that when you guys share the fact that they're doing a good job, or that you're appreciating their work, that truly is the fuel that drives their motivation. And frankly, if they're doing something that they missed the mark or so forth, we want to hear that too, constructively, of course. And likewise, that's a two-way street. And we want to make sure we're expressing our appreciation for our partners, as well as helping you guys grow your teams and staff in the most professional way. So as you guys are working with folks, the power of appreciation with your vendors is really quite significant. And Dwayne did want to make sure that we shared that our support team stands on the shoulders of our dev team and DevOps engineers, administrators, and others who can help get to the right information fast and efficiently. And it's a teamwork that makes the dream work. So it really is. But we thank Tim and all the others who have expressed that appreciation for what we do.
Thank you, Ken, for saying ditto.
Yeah.
Now, what we got here is a partner deals. I definitely want you all to be aware that we do have partner deals, and it's inside the partner portal. It requires a login and also to be an administrator. So if you have any issues getting to that information, contact your account success manager, or just email portal@calyptix.com to get you the correct license or role that you need. Now, what we got here is the 900, the 1500, and the 1900. We have a deal on the 900 on the annual deal only, and a 1500 for the monthly deal. As you can see a little further down, we have the annual for the 1900, which is a 1, 2, or 1, 3, or 4 year, and that's separated between those. But as you can see, it is a big markdown off of retail price.
It's a tremendous unit. It's got a lot of flexibility. It's got the SFP ports for significant speed down the road. And our developers tell us, most importantly, it's the most quiet unit we've ever had.
Yeah, that heat sink is doing its good job there. And as you would see that you would probably need to upgrade to some of these things. It not necessarily needs a 1900. As you could see, if you have a smaller site like an 800R or an 800, something that's not really too intensive, you can go to a 900 or a 1500, depending on your needs. Immediately going to a 900 will probably be the logical step, but if you do need the power, I would recommend going to a 1500 or a 1900. As you could see with the other comparisons here, a 1U unit would be almost equivalent to being on 1900. So I would recommend that.
So it's important to know that we've got units in the field that are 8+ years old, and trying to keep those on current software is near impossible. And, so as you look at that, hardware upgrade is part of the planned obsolescence of systems. And these things run every day, all day long. And they do have a hard drive for all the data storage and the logs. So they will fail. And you'd rather them be replaced on your time frame than not your time frame.
Right.
So this is also, we had a partner that had a number of units that needed to be upgraded. And he frankly said, Ben, I just don't have time. So he was able to work with his account success manager to implement a direct-to-end customer upgrade where we included his custom instructions and contact information.
And the return
ship those units direct to customers on his behalf. They returned the old ones to us. It worked seamlessly. My father's 89 years old. His house got struck by lightning. So what did it do? It fried the access enforcer. We sent him a replacement. He asked me if he wanted to get a tech in there. I said, no, just put it on top of it, swap the plugs, call me, and it'll be fine. And it did. I mean, there is no technical expertise required to swap in and out one of these units if you just follow a couple of simple steps. So if you're looking at upgrade and worried about that, we can help.
Now, we're on the road again. We were just at Channel Pro Defend. Thank you, Ben and Greg, for going out there. And we were awarded the Editor's Choice Award from them. Which is great. It just feels so good to be, recognized for, just coming out and being who we are in these conferences.
That was recognition. While most of the awards are recognized by the attendees, and typically folks vote for their vendors, favorite vendor of the day, which is great. We had a handful of partners there, but not a significant number, as you can imagine. And we've met the editors, and they work with all the vendors, and they, getting feedback, what we're doing. And really they recognized us for our passion, our commitment to the community, and our really motivation to drive enhanced cybersecurity in the MSP community. So that was really rewarding. Then we've got an event coming up in Orlando. It'll be at the end of the month with ASCII. And we're looking at additional events to attend as well. We have, if you can get to Orlando, please let us know. Greg and I will be there for 2 nights, Wednesday and Thursday. And we'll have a little downtime as well for hopefully some dinner with partners. And we'd love to see you in and around your neighborhood. And so let us know which events you might be able to attend. And if there's one you want to travel to, let us know that as well. Some of the expenses, quite honestly, are pretty high. I think the ConnectWise show is about $60,000.
Yeah.
Have a booth. So there's some that we probably won't jump off to. But if you identify some nice regional ones that are more in line, those create great opportunities for us.
Without further ado, let's get into the roadmap.
So one thing I want to share is that, the roadmap is constantly moving forward. We shoot to release 3, 4, or 5 releases every 12-month period because it has to be done, and their improvements and their new features and their bug fixes and their security fixes or enhancements. So take a look, if you hadn't lately, at the change log and the release notes. There's a lot of detailed work. One of the most important aspects is the recognition and the feedback that our developers want to share is that they very much like the direct from partner to development feedback and iterative improvements. So most of the things we do come from you, our partners, in frontline, activities of making these systems work and dealing with issues. And it may not be us. It might be the Qualys scanner's got a bug in the way it considers something,
right?
Or the Linksys router that requires a 7-digit key instead of 8, not compliance with the RFC. But if it makes sense to make that change and we can do it securely, we'll definitely consider it. So we understand the needs to make things work and aim to do it. So we did a lot over the last year.
Right. So these are the highlights of the features that have happened in Access Enforcer version 7. So we have, and we'll go into a little bit more depth of a couple things, like the local DNS server has been put in. We have also support for the new model, back-end support for Calyptix Cloud Manager, and we're always updating OpenSSH. So in every single update change log, you're going to see that it updates that. So we are always constantly updating that in every iteration of the firmware. Gatekeeper Active Directory integration.
So that was a direct partner request that people needed to be able to log in with their email. And as subtle as that is, that's the type of feedback that we want, because it's that last 10 yards, 5 yards, 1 foot that gets you the score, and that gets you the score, which gets us the score, and it makes life easy for everyone. So we've
also done things like configuration validation, just to make sure that everything's put into place, that it doesn't mess up anything, and WAN management. So you're able to shape the information that you want to go throughout different.
We are seeing an increase in the number of sites that are going multi-WAN.
Yeah.
And so we are working in that area. We've got some feedback from partners there on a couple things to get failover more stable in very flaky environments. So we're looking, the things that you guys are running into, let us know. And that goes for the product Access Enforcer, the monitoring, as well as CCM.
Mm-hmm.
Quick snapshot on the local DNS server that's been a big hit. David Street acknowledged that just being able to check the box and have a local DNS server is great, makes everything run a little quicker and easier. All you got to do is check a couple of boxes, right?
Yeah, and then enter your records.
And if you can also implement Google Safe Search as well here by redirecting Google to their Safe Search domain. Oh, so there's some more pieces here to it than just knowing what the devices are.
That's nice little tip.
This also, it will enable CCM to read the DNS name in CCM. So if you'll activate it on the box, that data can get pulled upstream into the cloud. So this is a big feature coming up, Joseph. Tell us about the web filter improvements.
So quietly, our developer, Nick, started kind of poking at this, and he made a new web filter. He built it from the ground up. So it's kind of amazing. We still don't have all the statistics and everything like that, but what we got from the initial tests and the benchmarks that we have is 97% reduction in CPU usage and between 40 and 60% reduction in memory usage. That is huge on HTTPS.
Yes. So this is important to note. This feature is, so there are 2 different proxy modules, one for HTTP traffic, which used to be predominantly used, and one was for HTTPS, which was built using customized packet sniffing tools. You can imagine there's a lot of code that's been written and available over the last 15 years. And so we were able to essentially forklift the tools that do the SNI inspection on HTTPS and do this a different way with these significantly more efficient tools. So I know a number of folks have been reticent to use the HTTPS filter, but with the preponderance of traffic going over HTTPS, we really encourage you to activate that now, especially if we roll out the new 7.0.4. So it's not currently out, but it should be pretty soon.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just reading the last question. There is no benchmarks for different access enforcers at the moment, but we will get there. Right now, we're working off of I believe it's a 900. But
yeah, so the if you've got an 800 with 2 gigabits of RAM, that's definitely in need of replacement. 4 gigabits, maybe stretch it out if you have to, but the 2 gig units really need to be upgraded. And so we've got a lot. In addition to new features, what a lawyer doesn't know that gets involved in a software company is once you start writing code, maintenance never ends. And if you're working with a vendor that doesn't acknowledge that, you may want to be careful, because that's where vulnerabilities creep in, right? And they have to be maintained, updated. Now, some of those are bug fixes, and some of those are security things and patches for like the Open SSH. And some of those are just improvements. So not everything we do is a headliner. There's a lot of what we do just keeps it clean.
Yeah.
So, but I do want to acknowledge that this is a core element of the service we provide as the subscription, is that underlying software maintenance. And we've done it really for a long, long time. So we started in 2007 with customers, and we've been doing in-time updates ever since. And one of the things that makes us different is that we can push out an update pretty quick in the stream of commerce as needed, and then roll that into the main branch and roll it out to the fleet. So where a lot of folks are reticent to do patches, we want to get to them as quick as we can. So this is a pivot.
Yep.
So what we're going to talk about next is Calyptix Cloud Manager. That's a mouthful.
Right. So as you can see, there's the survey QR code on the bottom. We're going to have that in the next couple slides. So if you hadn't yet already loaded that up and did the survey, please, I ask you to do so. So CCM, this was unveiled earlier this year, and we have a few people that are using it right now. And we kind of want more people.
We have a fair number. I would say it's some of our bigger partners and early partners have been real instrumental in getting this done, and the early adopters have the loudest voice, to be honest.
Right.
So it's important. We're going to develop this solution in line with our past practices of users. Right. If you vote with your time and resources, telling us what you need in it, we really want to build it and make it effective for you. If we can't save you the cost of this within a month, then we hadn't done our job. We should be able to troubleshoot, solve a couple of quick questions or problems with your client sites that make this really worthwhile. I know that everybody has their RMM platform or their PSA platform, and they want it all in one place. But the reality is, security is paramount to us. And until we are able to have a really clear path on securing this platform in other people's environments, we're going to provide integration to the extent we can, but that's going to be somewhat limited. But nonetheless, it's pretty extensible and powerful. So,
I just want to say that this is a scalable pricing. Just the way we say that is, it doesn't matter how big your fleet is. You can manage 5 to 300 or anything like that. It's all in the user. So if you wanted to get a user, it would be either an annual or a monthly plan. You save on the annual, obviously. But yeah, there is a cost associated to it. So we will have to do it per user. It is attached to our partner portal.
It's attached to our partner portal, which is built off of Salesforce, which is, user identity controlled and user licensed. So we have significant cost with this platform. And so this is necessary to recoup some of that and make this functionality available. But rather than charging per box, we think it makes more sense to charge by user and to give you the tools to manage more sites.
Right. Now, right now, as CCM stands at the moment, we have a few features that are in there already. Obviously, it's just the start of CCM. And so we have a couple of different features inside Access Enforcer that is now ported into CCM, like managing IP allow lists, block lists, dynamic block lists, the web filter settings, the IDS, IPS, geofence, remote management. And really that helps you with standardizing a lot of your units together so you can just edit one, push the changes to the other.
And the compare feature is very powerful that we've shown before in a full demo of the CCM. But there is a lot of visibility here, and we're just getting started. So please give us your feedback and let us know. So the item that we've added most recently really speaks to the explore and review or observability category, not configurability. Although it is tied to configurability. So the purpose here is to allow you to see what's going on at a network at a high level, fleet view, bandwidth up and down, number of devices, and so forth, and then drill down and take action as needed. So what it allows you to do is to see the fleet, see real time, drill into the network, and then drill into a single device to the live connections, and even terminate connections or allow list or block IPs as needed. And then using the other configuration tool, you could actually roll that across your fleet if you needed to, for instance, do an allow list for a new solution or tool that you'd put fleet wide. So with that, we'll jump over to the demo. Let me see if I can bring this up. Have to give us 1 second.
It timed out. That's why.
No, okay. So I may need to log back in.
No, you're good. Just pick up the account.
All right, here we go. Yep. So that now should see the CCM interface. And again, as a quick reminder, on the left side, you've got the navigation bar. So we're at the home page. So it's showing you all the units that are accessible under this account. And this account is the CCM beta test account. So the 3 units that are spinning are not online. They're actually VMs. We've only got 1 unit online here, but you'll notice that we've got the tags if you hadn't seen this before, and you can filter this over here with the unit picker. And so we set up a sort of a bandwidth tag, which is limited to the 1 unit that's online. And again, as a quick reminder, you can go in and check the remote management access, the basic web filtering setup, the IDS, IPS setup, the geofence, and then the IP allow list. And I don't have a comparing unit on this, but the comparison allows you to check it compared to other units. So when we go to the bandwidth connections for this particular unit, it's only 1 unit, so it won't show a whole lot there. But what you'll see is the unit, the number of devices behind the firewall, the number of active connections coming in and going out, the upload and the download. So if you had 50 units, they'd all show here. You'll see that little bar that goes by. That's about every 10 seconds, we're refreshing this information. So that is done with the architecture of the CCM. Each firewall has a proprietary client that connects back to the system to provide a secure connection for touching the API. And so that essentially keeps consistent data going back and forth. And it allows us to even see firewalls that are natted. So if that's a concern, this is a great way to see what's going on. Dwayne loves that fact that, oh yeah, he can get to see what's going on now without having to even log in. If it's natted, he couldn't get in. So if we click on the little arrow there, now this is going to drill down to this particular network device. And if you watch it, it'll update too. So this will update a second or two after we pull the data for the site. And it's showing the device name, the source IP address of the device, and then the upload and download rate currently based on the most recent amount of traffic, shows the connections in and the connections out. And so by default, it's going to sort in the upload biggest traffic first. So let's check on that iPhone 1B and see what's going on. That's a lot of bandwidth coming and going there.
Yeah, it's shipped.
Or actually, this one's got 34 connections. So if we drill into that, that's going to pull the live connection table from the firewall for that device. So we're looking at the live connections, and it's been filtered where either the source IP or the destination IP was equal to the selected device. So it pre-populates the filter. So if we want to see more, we can expand the filter and we could say, you know what, look, we want to see it all. So we're going to take away the device. We're going to see any traffic no matter what. So literally, we're now looking at the 119 live connections on this firewall. So we can look at that traffic. It's been sorted by, of course, source, destination, IP, and port. We also, again, the current bandwidth, that's a rate metric. So it's showing who's consuming the most right now. And then the traffic, this is a historical aggregated traffic, which may not always be the same. That's not actually sortable right now, but it is in terms of the duration. So you can see long-aged connections. This one's been out there going on for however long, 87,338 connections. Oh, I guess the 18th of March at 2:16 p.m. If you wanted to take action on that, guess what? I could kill it. I could add it to a block list or an allow list. So all that same IP management is available from here. And then you can manage that according to your fleet. So the idea is this is giving you visibility from the fleet all the way down to the single connection. It's important to note the connection page does not update because it's a static view. The expectation here is it should be investigating and looking for some information. However, if you change the view, then it will repopulate. So if you change the view by sort or by the number of pages or by the filter mechanism, that is going to repopulate with the most current. So if you go to another page, it's going to go to the static page. But if you again resort it, it's gonna resort. I think that's what So that's where we are on the bandwidth visibility. I know it's a lot of nitty gritty, a lot of pieces to put together, but we're real excited to bring that to you and looking for feedback.
I'm just making sure because Bryce said he rebooted the virtual machine. So I refreshed.
Oh, great. So now if we go to the unit picker, since those are now alive, I have no idea what's on them. But now we can show you what the comparison looks like again for those of you that haven't seen this. So if you want to see the compare mode, so this top is showing the settings for the selected unit, and the selected unit is the CCM demo unit that's got the star on it. And then if we go to the compare tool, it actually looks like we're all in sync except for HTTPS mode. So if we want to sync, we can hit sync, and that will literally push the change across the VMs. It should push them across the VMs.
Good.
So let's go back to let's do this.
Yeah, they're new values. So yeah, it's just going to push. So it's fine.
We'll bounce over to the other, so you could compare the settings as well on these other modes. I hit apply settings, but I didn't mean to do that. So I'm going to disable that change. And then this shows the comparison here across the ones. It shows there's an extra different change here on the IPS mode. And then you can also see it in geofence. Takes a second to populate. So this shows the comparison of the geofence settings across the different units. And then the same with the allow list and block list. you could choose which list you're monitoring up here. So that's the sort of lay of the land currently with CCM. And so we're ready now to get your feedback.
Yeah. So as you can see on the screen right here, there is a QR code. This is for the survey. And let me bring that up just to see if we could see live survey stuff right here. Get it up. Here it goes.
So there are a number of items that Nick and the team really want your feedback on to prioritize. There's a lot that can be done with CCM, and but we need to focus on the ones that are most impactful for you guys. And that's again with the eye that we should be able to save you time with this new solution pretty quickly. So as you look at these things, the system health and monitoring. So that essentially is giving you more observability on network link status. Dwayne recommended the time zone, more config information, system logs, shutdowns, updates, things like that. Gatekeeper over CCM would basically allow you through CCM to activate a gatekeeper rule on the firewall. So you could literally go from CCM directly to an endpoint, either by way of RDP, SSH, or an HTTPS server. So that is an interesting management capability that we could deliver. Again, that would be zero trust network access, multi-factor authentication required, and so forth, and record the ability to record that activity.
So it looks like we have the system health and monitoring visibility as number 1. Gatekeeper over CCM number 2, web filter is in 3rd, and then as we could see, the network alerts, IPsec wizard, VPN wizard, and the configuration templates, and then the DNS stuff is kind of dead last.
Oh, that's interesting because I know we actually had a use case for DNS change recently. So if you don't have to do it, it's great. But when you have to do it over a bunch of units, it can be painful. So. But I think it may not be. One of the other elements that we take into consideration is some things take longer to build than others, and some are already ready. So, for instance, just to give you some visibility, the system health information is largely API-fied already. I think that the system DNS server endpoint control is as well. So, the next thing we wanted to touch base on was the partner portal.
Yep, it's turning 2. It was 2 years ago, around January, that we brought out the partner portal, and that we replaced the old portal, which was really long in the tooth. So what have we done? The initial announcement that we had after the year, we were talking about like the knowledge base, the getting started guides, all the different things that you can get from logging in. And then we had future enhancements that we plan to have. Enhanced reporting, expand the capabilities based on community feedback. We have edited those reports. And if you have any more additions or changes or suggestions or anything like that to any part of the portal, please, send feedback to portal@calyptix.com. And that goes directly to me and a couple others. And so we can, get things moving on that. But there's a couple things that we didn't fully finish, which was flexible contact management and increased functionality like RMA cases. Basically, what we were trying to do and haven't achieved yet is to make the partner portal a more self-service kind of place, so where you can do things like express that you want an RMA, escalate a case, even put in for upgrades and that kind of stuff. We will be getting to some of those things, as well as trying to get SPS rolled into it, where we can have one single place to have all the information that you need, including backups and stuff like that.
So we were able to get, of course, the different layout of the different users, and we'll go over that briefly. But having sort of the self-management of that, we have not yet activated that.
Correct.
So there's a lot that can be done. We just have to stage it carefully to make sure it doesn't open things it shouldn't. A lot of information in the portal. If there's things that are missing or things that are not clear, please let us know. So in terms of the users,
Went backwards.
We went backwards. In terms of the roles, Joseph, explain the sort of 3 different roles here.
Right. So if you just go to the partner portal at partners.calyptix.com, you'll be greeted with a general portal, which will give you a lot of information about the product and Calyptix. So our knowledge base, release notes, change logs, all that stuff, and the training resources, that's all available to everyone.
So their customers, if they wanted to learn about Calyptix, that's going to be exposed to anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, if you give calyptix.com, that's fine. There's a little button that says partner portal at the top. That will bring you to this one. If you just wanted to tell them, go to Calyptix, hit partner portal, that's an easy way to do it. And then when you log in, when we give you a login, there's 2 types. One is a tech and one is an admin. Techs would have everything that has to do with network sites and, your whole entire fleet, as well as technical advisories, and then some things that we put in there like a name change form. But when it comes to admins, that is where the money stuff is actually. So like partner program and pricing, partner deals, and the form policies and agreements that come with your partnership with Calyptix. So if you don't see that you have pricing or something like that, ask the admin to include you. So you can have that as well, because we do have people that have dual roles that are either techs and salespeople at the same time, and they might need to have that information. But it's at a request kind of basis.
So it is important to understand that difference, because that pricing information is.
Everyone's business is different. Sometimes they want techs to have that information, and sometimes they don't.
Yep. No, that's perfect. So then this is what we've been working on quite a bit, really from inception, is how do we bring all these pieces together? And so we were very excited today to introduce the Community Shield Plus, a 24/7 threat monitoring and response service that is the pinnacle of Lawrence's concept of sharing information. So what this represents is bringing together our entire stack with endpoints and network and cloud services that's easy to use, and providing the alignment of the tools, the people, and the partnerships so that you can serve and protect your customers. This has been our mission from day one, is how do we collect and share cybersecurity information, and bringing the pieces together. They're really exciting for us. The current offering, we are working with OpenText. We're excited to announce we have been working hard to find the right partner for us that brings the right level of expertise, experience, tools, and staffing. We have talked to an inordinate number of firms, evaluated an enormous number of SIM solutions, and at the end of the day, we need a partner that can help with this project. And so that's where we are, and we're very excited about that. And we're working diligently through the process to implement all facets of the service. Why managed XDR? Well, really because it brings all these pieces together, and it's consistent with Lawrence's thesis in his first patent, and that it gives us, together with the experts, to really uncover what's going on with these systems that we're detecting engaged in suspicious activity and quite likely malicious activity. To do it faster, minimize the disruption, and share that information with a great deal of collaboration and visibility is our goal, because essentially that makes it harder on the bad guy, easier on us, and raises the challenge for the bad guys. So when you look at MXDR or XDR, it's quite candidly quite difficult. And I'm not going to get into the EDR, NDR, MDR, XDR, because I think that's a whole session in and of itself in evaluating these things. But to put any of them together, you got to integrate a lot of different pieces. You got to get the right data, the right signals. Are you getting any signals, right? You got to get them delivered securely, and you got to do it at a price point that's affordable with the total cost of ownership, both implementation, maintenance, and ongoing usage that's manageable by our partners and our customers. And that needs a lot of expertise, and that's very much in short supply. And then not to mention the data. We don't want to be streaming data over SNMP plain text. I mean, no. Logs, they're proprietary, they're confidential information. So we need good systems integrations. And it needs to be a right balance of automation and human, because we can't delegate everything to a machine because then most likely you're going on low signals, low alerts, low security, or if you're going, it's a constant process. So that's one of the most powerful things we believe about our partnership with OpenText on the back end, is that they are providing a human-led threat investigation platform. So what does that look like? Well, you have to start with data. So everywhere that somebody generates information, data that needs to be secured, is sensitive, whether they store it, transmit it, edit it, that needs to be a source for monitoring, if at all possible. So it starts with us with the firewall logs, moves next to the endpoint with comprehensive endpoint logs, and then lastly to cloud services like O365. So you have to get the right information, not all information. What we've seen over the years, people say they get logs, but maybe are they really looking at them? Do they really know what's in the logs? There's logs use case have different reasons. There's archives for post-event forensics. There's monitoring and alerting, and then there's refinement. There are a lot of different uses of logs, and so by working with our logs, OpenText has agreed to really understand the right pieces of data that we're identifying and to focus on those, and to put that, connect it with the endpoint activity in the O365. Obviously, a lot of that's automated, but you have to automate the right levers, right? You can't automate and not constantly monitor and tune what's being automated. So if you're sending a lot of logs to something and they're not generating any alerts or investigations, there's a problem there. Likewise, if it's too much, there's a problem there. So the way our system's working is we're generating all this data, selectively triggering and firing on alerts, that we're creating telemetry across the systems to involve the human investigation with access to more information, and then can determine whether or not it's a tuning or customization scenario or a mitigation and remediation. And we see that that's the breakdown in the alignment, is things get ignored, and instead of properly tuning the monitoring or log forwarding policy or adjusting the on-premise configuration, they just keep accepting reams and reams of data, which then makes it harder to find the event that matters, that may be a real threat. So we'll have a bit more on this as we go, and we're going to break it down with the greatest transparency that we can, because we really think Sunshine is what is the powerful solution for small business, making sure they're getting the right security that they need. But I would ask, do you know how you find a needle in a haystack, Joseph? It's damn hard.
Yes.
One is not have a haystack, right?
No. Yeah.
Another is, some people don't look, right? So, maybe a metal detector or a whatnot.
Well, there's tools for it. Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of ways you can do it. You can get a SIM and grind through it, but we want to do it efficiently and quickly and with a shared effort. So we're going to chase the thread. So we believe that what we see on the wire, which is a domain we have a great deal of expertise in, which is a domain which the bad guys cannot hide, we believe that's the magic sauce to really bringing down the complexity and the cost to an integrated cybersecurity model. So if anybody agrees or disagrees, I'd love to get feedback on this analogy. I did mention it to my dad.
Yeah.
He said he didn't get it. But he's 89. He's not technical, so I told him it was okay. But if you guys don't get it, I want to know. So would love your feedback on that. But I think reducing this to a concept that's understandable is very important. So you guys are tasked with really an impossible task. Limited budget, limited resources, customers that don't necessarily understand. How do you get control, visibility, and security and manageability around all of these different scenarios? And I think, it really is a huge challenge, and you need the right tools, because you've got to cover the endpoints. You've got to cover the cloud services, right? But that doesn't get it all either, right? And you can't ignore the rest of it. So you layer on top of that what we've built with Access Enforcer with the right collaboration. We believe we can give you tremendous visibility and control in things that are currently outside the scope of many services on the marketplace. for really affordable, easy to implement methods. So when you look at the incident response tree, the magic is, what do you alert on to trigger the investigation? And what capabilities do you have to execute at each phase of the process? And when we align together with you as our partners, as our on-the-ground frontline cyber defenders, and we put the right tool in your hands of your people, you don't have to go learn a new tool. And we empower you with the insights that we can glean off the wire and then trigger an expert threat team to look for the needle where we're pointing them. We believe we can accelerate the investigation, discovery, containment, and eradication of problems. We think we can do it faster, easier, and cheaper. And we think we can do it with opportunities to enhance what we do. I flagged down here at the bottom a couple things in alerting. Alerting is not a static process. It has to take into account the evolution of the tools, the tactics, the techniques, the tools that we have. And I remember the APT1 report that Mandiant did with Google back in 2013. It's about an 80-page read where they broke down 60 or 70 pieces of malware, and they really talked about how they operated. And more than half of those pieces of malware, which were engineered by the People's Republic of China's army, operated at a level that was invisible on the endpoint. Mm-hmm. So that means if we see something on the network that they don't see on the endpoint, we have the ability to have 100% auditability and comparability to pick up some of the most advanced threats. Likewise, when they got to investigate, if we can give and capture packets and deliver that to an advanced threat investigator quickly, guess what? They're more effective, faster, and cheaper. And additionally, we add the network isolation with the endpoint isolation. Not only is that going to create better security and control, it's also going to go back to the alert. If we see network activity, it means their isolation's not working. Mm-hmm. It means, guess what? We're dealing with a pretty advanced actor. So all of these pieces really come together, but the magic is having a partner that has the expertise to devote to the problem in a streamlined manner. And I can't underestimate how important that is. And we expect OpenText to bring a great deal of expertise, and we expect to take these situations serious and to create the feedback loop so we can do the tuning, we can do the improvement and enhancements all in an automatic, collective way. So with that, we'll look questions. I know I got on my soapbox, but I can't tell you how excited I am to be putting these pieces together for our community and partners and customers. And we think it bodes well. We'll be sharing that story in Orlando. And then we're currently working through some early alpha implementations. We have several beta customers that are lined up. Mm-hmm. If you're interested in being a beta customer, let us know. We do have some sites identified that we would like to, proceed with that investigation. But I think putting these pieces together is really important. I know folks are using existing tools, and we're excited to see how what we can do compares, and looking for the feedback.
All right, let's answer some questions here real quick. Chris Morris, no, we don't have set pricing yet for the MXDR.
On that, Chris, I would invite you to give us insights on what you're seeing. So we will have an out-of-pocket cost to OpenText for their tool and their SOC. So the big advantage that we'll have is to bring together the network data, which will be substantially less data than they're accustomed to getting from a firewall, and with their tools. So
I'll just go to Matt. Yes, knowledge base needs a little more love for the search ability, more like a Google search. Okay.
If there are particular examples that you're searching for something and not finding the right thing, ping us and let us know, because that allows us to optimize for the outcome that you'd expect.
This question is probably a little higher over our heads right here. That Matt has for recapture. Bear with us, we're just reading.
So I'm not sure. I think, Matt, your question about the CAPTCHA trying to trick folks to infect their PCs, I think one method is to understand, are they inside a secure network that the access enforcer can help with? If so, I'd recommend looking at the web filter controls, blocking things like uncategorized websites, as well as some of the other categories. And then, but we could dig into that offline.
Steve, thank you very much for the kind words. Go run to your peer group. Thank you. Future request, speed test on the WAN port. Initiate speed test from there. I believe we had brought that up, but we will need to bring that up again. I wasn't sure what the outcome of that one was offhand right now, but that has been talked about before.
If you've got a site, Graham, that is particular that you'd be interested in trying to implement that, that would help us see the situation and give us a real world apples to apples to see what we can do. And I think, as you alluded, the disconnecting everything on the LAN is a challenge, because you can't get 100% pure bandwidth unless you control the whole pipe.
Right. And
so there's always that question there.
Question for Matt is the pricing for CCM per user charge per every user a customer has on it? No, it's just the user account. It doesn't matter how many devices you accessed it from it. But yeah, it's just one price.
It's per licensed login user, which is typically a tech person from the MSP.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is no extra charge for the amount of logins or devices you use for that login or anything like that. So it's just a single price. I will float this other question up to the developer support and developers. Can dual WAN mode now support the rules and settings, all of them that previously would only be supported on a single WAN connection? I believe that still is the case, but I would have to bubble that up to people that know.
So one of our partners shared that they encouraged a customer to upgrade a significantly old box, and then most recently it quit after a power cycle event, which, that box was pretty old, I think. And so then they were down, but they had to replace it with the 1900 and got up quickly. But it was, the recommendation is important that you put that cost of downtime on the customer, because once you're getting pretty old, long in the tooth, you guys know what happens. And if it's, as a lawyer, I used to call that the punitive rate, was when they waited till Friday at 6 p.m. to tell me what they needed a document for Monday. I charged a different hourly rate starting at 6 p.m. on Friday. And if it was my fault and I didn't get it done all week, that's on me. But, I think it's important to respect your time and safeguard your family time and your team's time as well.
If you have any more questions, you can contact your account success manager, be either David or Nate, and they'll ask. They're the ones who are the quarterbacks for you. So if you do have any questions, they will bring it to the people that need to address it.
So I do want to say we have one suggestion. I think it's the best one I've heard for how to find a needle in a haystack. A magnet.
Yep.
The question is, how big is the haystack and how big a magnet do you need? I have a magnet that's about 6 inches for magnet hunting. I take up to Maine. It gets pretty tiresome using the magnet, but it's a good suggestion, Matt. Thank you all again for joining us, and appreciate your support, and look forward to your continued feedback and success.
Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone. Just also, there will be a recording of this inside the partner portal. So if you missed any portion or would like to revisit, you can go to the partner portal and see that. All right. Have a good one, everyone.